After all this time, 1 week away, your boys are back.
Step in the ring, feel the adrenaline rush. Going fist to kicks, the pain we can't hush. And then they find us, we're the real tough guys. Breaking down barriers, we aim for the skies. Into the octagon, like a warrior I stand. Train blood, taking hits as I command. The art of combat, I'm ready to go. Submission, knockout, that's how I flow. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast. Locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling with might, the golden octagon. The stage we ignite. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast. Locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling like a golden octagon. The stage we ignite.
And we are live from the Golden Octagon Studios in Norfolk, Virginia. This is the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast with your hosts, Matt and D. Rose.
We are back, D Rose. I feel like we've been gone for like a month, dude. We've been gone 1 week, but it literally feels like forever. Yes. Hello. Welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast, you guys. My name is Matt. D Rose is on that cyber screen. A little bit of technical difficulties getting started, but we are here, so we truly do appreciate you guys for stopping by here and waiting on us just a little bit. On today's show, we usually recap past weekend's fights, but St. Louis, no, not St. Louis. It was it St. Louis or was it the Apex, D Rose?
It was the Apex, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
It was the Apex 2 weeks ago. We're not really going to
The
go
Barboza
through it, but
and
we are.
Lauren Murphy. Yeah.
Yeah, we are going to do the old pick champ and eat the beans, though. D-Rose ain't getting out of that this week. We do have a ton of UFC news and fight announcements to go over. And, Dana White did us a solid this week, D-Rose. Instead of giving us the news right after we get off the podcast, he actually gave it to us earlier this morning. So thank you, Dana White, for giving us some news to talk about here on the show. And lastly, we'll get into our UFC 302 Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier picks and predictions. Me and D Rose will give you our picks and predictions for every single fight on the card, prelims to the main event. But before we get started, D Rose, how have you been over the past 2 weeks or so, brother? And then we'll shout out the chat and get started with the show, my guy. I think you're muted.
Oh yeah. Then had a little chaos in the background, so I was trying to silence that out. But no, things have been great. Having a week off was kind of refreshing, I would say. I think it's kind of really amped it up for the fight week this week. And I was able to take my kids to the pool earlier and stuff like that. So we've been actually, for myself, we've been great over here. But as far as fights wise, I do think it was good to have a week off, give us a little bit of a breather, and kind of have that week period in between going into a pay-per-view. That pay-per-view is good. Not great, but starve us a little bit, and hey, we'll eat some sloppy joes or whatever, man. We'll make do if we ain't ate in a while, and that's how I kind of feel going into this weekend.
Okay. I love UFC fight weekends, and I am excited, D-Rose. So let's get into the shouting out the chat. Glad you're doing well, my guy. We got Lush Low Main popping here. Another Golden Wednesday with the boys. Trained by day, the Golden Octagon Podcast by night. All day. Shout out Lush Low Main. We got Tim saying rough Saturday last week. No fights. Looking forward to a great card. Some great analysis tonight. I appreciate it, Tim. Hopefully, you pull something out of tonight's show and you're able to profit on it this weekend, my guy. We got Edgar H. What's up, boys? Finally back live after quitting my my night job.
Nice.
Shout out Edgar. Hopefully one day I can quit my job because I absolutely despise it. But that's for another day. You guys don't care
Dude,
about
working
that.
night shift, working night shift is
yeah.
the absolute worst. Like I've never done it, but I've known people to have done it. And I used to work at like 3 a.m. to like late in the afternoon. But yeah, no, dude, third shift is the absolute worst. So yeah, good thing you got off though.
Yeah, I'm glad you're for sure done working the night shift. Hopefully you still have a job though, Edgar, and you didn't just quit jobs altogether and you're not going to be on the street or anything like that, Hopefully you're still doing well, Edgar. We got Austin saying, I feel like it's been forever. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Indeed, Austin. Happy Wednesday. We got through the first 3 days of the week. We got Randy Poppy in here saying, what's up, boys? Dave Fish for days. What's going on, boys? We got back at it like a crack addict. Yeah. We got Lush saying, Shama. We got Ben Kent saying, brother, do I go rip boosters tomorrow? Beangate blasters. I don't know, man. I guess if you want to, do whatever you wish. But yeah, D Rose, with that being said, let's get into one of my favorite parts of the show, especially on the weeks that your boy wins. So this not this past weekend, 2 weeks ago, we had 3 different fights that we picked on at I believe it was Edson Barboza versus Lerone Murphy. That was one of the main picks. And I went Edson Barboza in that fight, and you went Lerone Murphy in that fight. So you were correct on the main event. Our second different pick was Ariane Carnelossi versus Pierre Rodriguez, where I went Ariane Carnelossi. You went Pierre Rodriguez. And, dude, like, Pierre Rodriguez headbutts Ariane Carnelossi. Fucking Mark Smith's like, hey, watch your headbutt. She looks at her and goes, wham, and then gets disqualified.
And then she gets mad. She gets mad that she gets disqualified because she's like, oh, no, she's bullshit. No, you're the idiot who went in for the headbutt when literally he told you.
I thought he said headbutter. I thought he told me to headbutt her. In our last so I end up getting that one right off of a disqualification, so I'll take it because I wasn't that fight wasn't looking too pretty for me, but I'll take it. And then lastly, Alatong Haley versus who did Alatong Haley fight? Heroes.
That's how forgettable that fight is.
It was also Rodriguez. I forgot now. I don't know.
Yeah, that showed how insignificant the fight was. For me, the main thing was losing off of that stupid headbutt.
Clayton Rodriguez. That's what it was. Rodriguez. That's why I didn't remember. Clayton Rodriguez versus Alatong Haley. And you went Clayton Rodriguez, and I went Alatong Haley. So I do win 2 of the 3, which means D Rose is eating beans this week. One other point that I do want to make on that, 2 other points that I want to make on that card, D Rose. One was the titty punch by Melissa Gatto that finished Tamaris Vidal, and she's like, ow. And then it's like, hey, that's legal. You can get hit there. And it's like, you can't just say no. So I almost feel like every opponent from this point forward should just aim for Tamaris Vidal's, her fucking chest and knock her out, because apparently it hurts her too bad where she can't fight if you get hit there. And the other one, dude, the one that I bet Angela Hill round 3 or decision against Luana Pinheiro, because I was like, man, I think Angie Hill might finish her in the third. And you're like, dude, Angie Hill does not finish anyone. And I wasn't wrong, but I bet 3 or decision. She ends up choking out Luana Pinheiro in the second round, dude. Angie Hill gets a finish on that card, dude. Last fight card that we had for me did not go good betting wise, dude. I just it was just one of those nights, dude, where it's like, yep, This is why you shouldn't gamble, kids. This is why you shouldn't gamble.
Yeah, there was a couple of them that was rough for me, but for me ultimately, yeah, I mean it had to be the Pierre Rodriguez or whichever headbutt. I mean, dude, just unbelievable for literally 1.5 seconds in between him telling you no, and for people to give Arnold the Carnelosi, for people to give her crap for oh, you're a quitter or whatever. Dude, she literally got illegally headbutted. Like there's nothing that she should take blame for because Pierre didn't know how to follow the rules. Yeah, that was completely mind-boggling, dude. I think there should be some sort of protest to where I shouldn't have to eat the beans today because that was clearly like on her way to win. And yeah, I mean, there's got to be something here. I mean, the boys got to back me up in the comments.
No.
I mean, come on. I mean, what are we doing?
Do you know what'll back you up in the comments, D Rose? The fact that I've been chatting with Austin. Austin has went out and ordered the same beans that we had and has been trying them for fun. So, you won't be the only one eating the beans. Austin has been eating the beans as well. Austin said, I tried the dirty dishwater bean. It actually wasn't that bad. Just tasted like Dawn dish soap. Stinky Socks is still by far the worst ones I've had. Booger wasn't too bad either. Not enjoyable, but not vomit inducing. Did you try vomit, Austin? I imagine vomit is horrible. Yeah, that one's spot on. That one's spot on, Austin. So, D Rose, it's up to you, man. I'm gonna pass it full screen, D Rose, and he's gonna be eating beans, getting them out. And once he does the deed, I'll pop my face back up on here, and I'll get my reaction.
Gonna let y'all get y'all's. Let's shake it up. Because there was a bunch of the same colors that was sitting on top. It was like 2 whites and 2 greens. Let's try to get some variety here.
You just don't want to eat the flavor.
Well, it looks like too damn bad because this thing done circled back up anyway.
All right.
Damn.
All right.
Oh gosh. So that is either going to be what, booger or juicy pear. And the other one, I just got 2 out at the same time. Screw it.
That one's either Tutti Frutti or something. That one's Tutti Frutti or Dirty Dishwater.
Socks. Yeah, I think it's Tutti Frutti or Stinky Socks. Yeah, it's going to be one of the two.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. Which one's first? Maybe Booger. Booger.
Ew, what the dude? Oh. Hey, like
booger.
Oh.
That's the worst
Bro.
Leslie Dear's act yet.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Nah, I was
Oh my god.
Hello, McDonald's sweet tea. I'm trying to wash that down, dude. Oh my gosh. Like that tasted like it didn't taste like, dude, it tasted like an expired bell pepper. Like that's exactly what it tastes like, an expired bell pepper. Like that was awful. I don't know if that was supposed to be booger or juicy pear, but it was awful. Like I don't know which one it was, and I don't really care to find out. That was awful.
Oh goodness.
It makes me even more nervous. Yeah, now that makes me even more nervous about this one. Especially if Austin is saying these aren't that bad, and Stinky Socks is the worst one. Because this is potential of Stinky Socks or Tutti Frutti. Y'all think since Rodriguez ended up getting the DQ that you only eat 1 bean instead of 2? I mean, I think that's I think
lose,
that's fair.
You lose. Stinky Socks. Stinky socks. No, I feel like that one already.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
oh,
Do we get two
Oh.
bad beans? Two
Damn.
bad beans, baby. The back of my
Oh.
head hurts from laughing so much.
This is number one bullshit. Dude,
I've had
what is going dude?
Dearest, I have to be honest, man. I have had probably one of the worst days I've had in months, man. Like, work was ass today. Like, and then yeah, I've just been fucking looking for this part for my truck, and it's just been irritating, and I can't find it. But coming here, man, relaxing, getting ready to talk about some fights, and seeing you suffer through those terrible beans, man, that just truly brightened up my day. Dude.
I'm glad it could brighten up someone's day. Damn it! And it was all on some bullshit,
goodness. Dude.
because
But
Rodriguez
hey,
didn't know how to not freaking headbutt.
I'm pretty
is
sure that's the first
unbelievable.
time you've had two bad beans, though. I've had two bad beans
100% is.
multiple times. I've had two bad beans multiple times. Dude, you would get three, like, I would sweep you and you would get three good beans. That's the luck that you would have. You wouldn't even have two bad beans. It doesn't even make sense.
Well, it's
Oh,
over
my
now.
goodness.
It's over, dude. Dude, to
Okay.
lose off of a bullshit DQ and to get two, yeah, it's safe to say my good luck streak is over.
Jordan says, "What type of?" I'm looking for the center hubcaps on some wheels that I got that are damn near impossible to find now. He already ate all the good. Exactly. Maybe that's what it is. You already ate all the good beans. It's nothing but bad beans left.
That's
here.
that's a good point. That is a good point, Dave. Because I did get lucky there for a little bit, but yeah, the last couple of weeks, man, and fight results too, man. Like fights that should have gone my way and didn't. Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah. Let's see. I think yeah, that's where we were at. Yeah, that's even that's where I've been like looking lush. The issue is I didn't realize I got some used wheels from Facebook Marketplace just because they were a good price and they looked kind of cool. And then I got them back here, cleaned them up, got them put on my truck. I got my truck lowered this past weekend, and then they're like, "Hey, do you have the center caps?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't. I'll just look for some online." And I didn't realize that the wheels are from 2011. So the wheels are really old. They don't make them anymore. They're discontinued. So now it's like, I mean, I just got them as temporary wheels anyway. But, you know, just tough. Just tough. Anyway, yeah. D-Rose, we got a lot of UFC news and fight announcements to go over because we've been gone 2 weeks now. And yeah, for the past week or so now, Dana White has been just putting out some absolute bombs for us as far as fights going to be coming up. So with that being said, let me share my screen and then I would get your opinion.
He loaded up the clip for big fight announcements and just fired them off over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, dude.
And it's a lot of bangers.
Yeah. So here's our first one. I know you are so stoked about this one. The main event of UFC 304 will be July 27th in England, dude. It's going to be headlined by Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad. The second fight, the first one ended up in an eye poke, and that's why Bilal's eye looks like that now.
It is crazy to like actually take into context what you just said. Like people don't realize that. But yeah, the reason why one eye is actually squinted a little bit compared to the other one being huge is because Leon literally, his finger was a shovel and it dug into the bottom of freaking Bilal Muhammad's eyelid and damn near ripped that shit out. Like it was absolutely gross. One of the worst eye pokes I had seen, to be quite frank. Like it was rough. But but I do think that, you know, Bilal is obviously deserving. Kind of sucked that he had to wait as long as he did, but he said he was willing to wait, and now he's finally getting a shot. It is crazy to think that it is the headliner versus Aspinall, and which I know we'll get to that, but yeah, it is surprising to see this the headliner, but it is a fight that has needed to happen to kind of restore order in the division. So should be a good fight though.
Indeed. And Jesus, that was the recommendation that I got from the guy that I talked to at one of the parts places that I went to. He was like, "You should go check out a junkyard. I'm sure they'll have tons there." I'm like, "Hey, thanks. I appreciate it." They were just all closed at that time. It was like, I think like 7:15, and no, it was probably 7. So yeah, just everywhere was already closed at that point. So moving on, you just talked about it. The co-main event, co-headline for the interim heavyweight championship will be Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blades. Also, number 2. The first one ended in a crazy knee injury from Tom Aspinall, dude. This will be the co-main event for that fight. But how crazy would it be if, like, after this fight, like, the fans just left and they're like, "Yeah, we don't care about the actual main dude."
Dude, well, I could see it being like, because I still remember I don't remember the specific number, but the pay-per-view that had Izzy Gastelum and Max and Dustin, and I remember like the Izzy and Gastelum fight was like so good that like I remember like I needed a whole pack of cigarettes after Izzy and Gastelum fought, and by the time Max and Dustin fought, like I had no more energy to just get riled up from there because I was so just my wad was blown watching Izzy and Gastelum go back and forth. But I could see the crowd doing the same exact thing with this one just because they're such big Aspinall supporters, and I do think that this is the most this is the fight that people want to watch the most going into this card. I'm going to have to imagine that, considering how big of a name Tom Aspinall is over in the UK, plus his style that he's able to deliver. So I think there's a very good chance that you could be looking at some empty bleachers after this fight's over with.
That would be wild, dude. Spending all that money
as a co-main event to a welterweight. It just looks weird seeing heavyweights. Especially a heavyweight title fight, co-main event to any other weight class, let alone like 170 or something like that. You know, it just looks weird to me.
Yes, sir. And another big one on the card, dude. We got Paddy Pimblett versus Bobby King Green. Also same card, UFC 304, July 27th. Does this fight surprise you at all? I didn't expect, I guess, this matchup.
Oh, well, I'll say that. So I'll say this. I thought it was going to be Renato Moicano and Paddy. Paddy did even say that he liked the idea of the promotion more with Renato Moicano because Moicano has been making a pretty big name. I believe he's ranked now. His shit talking, I think that him and Paddy could really sell the fight. But I heard Bobby in an interview with Ariel Helwani, and he had said that, hey, the UFC calls the shots, and this is what the UFC wanted. And I think for Bobby Green, he is a tough fight, but I do think as far as his wrestling defense, I still think that's something that Paddy can actually take advantage of. So I could see from the UFC matchmaking perspective of saying that, hey, Bobby Green's a tough fight, but still a winnable fight versus, man, I think Renato Moicano can be a really, really tough fight for Paddy just because I think he can match him in the grappling. As well as the striking versus Bobby's a much more dangerous striker, but not as lethal on the ground. So I think it's good matchmaking, and I think it's going to be a big fight either way. So because a bunch of people are going to have their eyes on Paddy.
I agree, man. I think it's a very winnable fight for Paddy.
Much more winnable than Moicano.
Yeah. Up next, we've got Shailene Norden-Becky versus Ezekiel Costal. That's going to be the next Apex card on June 15th. You care about that one at all? Probably not. We got a lot more fights.
Oh, no. We got a lot of fights. Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to
say. We got Cody Durden taking on Bruno Silva July 20th. You care about that one at all?
It should be a solid fight, but we can keep moving.
All right, we got Charles Ayer Jordan taking on Gene Silva. UFC 303 June the 29th. What's your thoughts on that?
Hey, that should be a good fight. I mean, 2 dogs in there, and Gene Silva, he gets after it. And we know Charles Jordan does too. So.
Do we have?
That's right. But yeah, that should be a dog fight. I keep having like the picture of him like in my head, like of him doing that. Now it's just got me like it's got me cracking up.
Colin Loughlin taking on Ramon Tavares. That's going to be UFC 304. So that's going to be in England as well. That should be kind of a fun fight.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, not super anticipating it.
All right, results from this past from 2 weekends ago. Dude, look at the devastating headbutt that happened, dude. Laid her out with the headbutt.
She's out cold. And she questions how it got stopped.
Yeah, dude. And this is her cheering after scoring a titty punch against Tomaris Vidal just in the back. Just saying, like, is she allowed to do that? Anyway, Tom Nolan, Angie Overkill Hill. Dude, I'm glad we actually talked. This came up, dude. Adrian Yanez was swinging for the fences, dude. I hope that's not his new fight style, man.
No, I don't think so. But if I'm being honest, should he have been that aggressive? No, but he said that going into that fight against Jonathan Martinez, he basically felt like he had overcorrected because he kind of went in and tried to brawl with Rob Font, and where he should have been a little bit more technical. And I think a guy with Jonathan Martinez, that's a guy with leg kicks you want to put a little bit more pressure on, and he laid off and basically just let his legs get ate up. So I think Benicio Salvador came out with those leg kicks early, and Yanez was like, "Hey, you're not going to get me with those leg kicks. I'm not going to get got by those leg kicks again," and just completely walk forward with pressure. Dude, he was high energy from the jump, like was just looking for the knockout. So I am glad that he got it. Good stoppage. Had he fought Jonathan Martinez like that, put him on his back foot, maybe he could have won that fight, but he did say he's looking to correct those wrongs, and I'm glad to see him back in the win column.
Hell yeah, dude. I love some Adrian Yanez. I'm glad he got the knockout as well. That fight sucked. Yeah, Chaos Williams knocks out Carlston Harris. And that one, dude, the main event. Anyway, another one we don't care about. Don't care about that one. Here we go, dude. Ihor Potieria is out, after getting stomped on his head and then choked out by Michel Pereira. And Sharabutin Magomedov was not happy about that. He was calling out Michel Pereira, but Sharabutin will now face some random dude in Saudi Arabia. You care about that at all?
Yeah, Sheriff Bullet needs to just kind of take the fights that he can get, because he's not going to be able to fight in anywhere besides Abu Dhabi. So, like, just be happy you're here, dude. Like, Michel Pereira's on even if Bullet could beat him or whatever, Michel Pereira's on a whole different level than this guy, just in terms of, Michel Pereira's on like a 7-8 fight win streak at this point. So, yeah, he's looking much higher than Sharp Bullet right now.
Yeah, dude.
But in terms of the fight, who cares?
Yeah, we got Saeed Nurmagomedov is out, and Farid Basharat steps in to face Montel Jackson on the Saudi Arabia card. That's another good fight for the Saudi Arabia card. Don't care about that's Oban Elliott. Oban Elliott's pretty good, dude. Preston Parsons.
Preston Parsons is pretty good, dude. Pressure Preston.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting fight. The guy with the crazy name is out, so Andre Lima's got a new fight for this weekend. And then also on
everybody knows the guy with the crazy name.
Also on UFC 304 in July, we've got Mick Parkin versus Lucas Dretsky. You care about that at all?
I mean, should be a solid fight, but yeah, I mean, Lucas Dretsky, I'm surprised he's not out of the UFC at this point, but
okay. What about Christian Leroy Duncan taking on Robert Brizchek?
Looks like they're trying to get Christian Leroy Duncan a few dubs, right? I mean, because Brizchek, wasn't he the one that got absolutely smoked by Ihor? Yeah, so
yes.
I mean, not saying that. I mean, again, Ihor looked really good in that fight. But yeah, Christian Leroy Duncan kind of getting a what should be a winnable fight for him.
Yeah, man. And if Carlos Ulberg didn't call his shot, dude, Khalil Roundtree is out, and Jamal Hill will now face Carlos Ulberg at UFC 303. Yeah, man. What's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, man. And I sent you that clip of Carlos Ulberg when he had said, like, hey, you know, maybe I'll take on or I could be the backup for Jamal Hill, Khalil Roundtree. And when he had said it, I was like, I just almost didn't pay any mind to it because I was like, that's weird. I mean, there's a couple. I mean, you can fight Yuri if you're thinking about going up to the top. You can fight Rakic. Yeah, even though I wouldn't want to fight Rakic because Rakic is boring. But I mean, you can fight Johnny Walker. Like, why did you specifically pick that fight? Well, he must have had a little bit of an inkling that Khalil Roundtree is going to be out and he's going to step up and I think this is a good fight. And what we're not doing is giving enough credit to Jamal Hill because, dude, for him to get absolutely blasted the way he did by Alex Pereira, supposed to take the fight against Khalil, he could very easily have said, you know what, opponent falling off. Maybe I am taking the fight too soon. Maybe I'm just going to go ahead and maybe wait until later in the year or something like that. But no,
that's not Jamal Hill, dude.
No, well, and I understand they want to stay on the Conor card as well because obviously you're going to get the most eyeballs on the Conor card. But I think Jamal is willing to come back to try to right the wrong of what happened against Alex Pereira. He was really disappointed in his performance and saying that he, obviously didn't last long in the fight, and wants to come back and try to prove to people that he is who he was when he won the title. So, big respect to him for still staying on the card and willing to take on such a dangerous opponent in Ulberg.
Just curious, what do you think odds are when this opens, dude?
Oof. I would have to say Ulberg will probably be a small favorite. I don't know.
Really?
I don't think he'll get into the 200s, but yeah, I think he'll be every bit of minus 150, 160, something like that.
I guarantee you Jamal opens as a minus 200 favorite.
So who opens? I would not be surprised if he opened as a favorite. I think Ulberg closes as a favorite by the time the fight comes. I think Ulberg ends up being the betting favorite because I think so many people are just going to put money on him. But yeah, me personally, I just think where Jamal Hill, where he lost that last fight, recency bias, plus where Ulberg has just been absolutely smoking dudes. I think
with left hooks too, dude.
Exactly. So and again, a counter striker. So Jamal Hill's going to try to press forward and try to put that pressure on that he likes to do. He can walk in on one of the big shots.
Yeah, man. Also, UFC 304, we've got Sam Patterson taking on Kiefer Crosby. Looks like UFC is trying to get Sam Patterson a win, dude, because Kiefer Crosby is cheeks, dude. He's not good at all.
It is that 304 card. So same thing with Christian Leroy Duncan. They're just looking to get the hometown guys a good pop. So yeah, I think the same thing.
Yeah, here we go. Got another one. We've got Modestas Bukauskas versus Marcin Prachnio. This is going to be a piss break fight, dude. You won't miss anything if you don't watch this fight. They're gonna leg kick each other for 15 minutes, dude. You're like, fucking throw a punch, and they're like, no, dude. You could tie their hands behind their back, and it would not change the outcome of this fight.
Yes, yes, 100%. You took the words right out my mouth. Yes, this is 100% your snack break. If you forgot to get something, say if you got you got some snacks over, you got a watch party going, and you're like, oh shit, dude, we got some wings, but I forgot to get the ranch. You better run to the store during this fight because you're gonna have plenty of time to go and make it back before you miss anything significant.
Yeah, it's gonna be 15 minutes of a sparring match, basically. Dude, this is one that
phones in the background.
Yeah, this is one that surprised me and also makes me not like Colby, dude. Made me be like, man, why is Colby being a hoe for? You're like, why didn't he take that fight?
Because now it's made you not like Colby. This made you not like Colby.
I mean, the character made me laugh because he was an idiot. But after having the performance against Leon, not showing up even in the slightest, and then, okay, you clearly can't be the champion. At least fight one of these young up and comers, and get smoked like everyone does, when they get older. And here comes the like the new breed. I really wanted Colby to take that fight and get smoked, because one, I know that a lot of people would have loved to see it. It would have made a lot of Colby haters happy. So I think that would have made a lot of money for the UFC. And there's also still those Colby backers as well that would probably think that he could beat Ian Gary, because everyone seems to think that Ian Gary has no ground game. So I thought that was an interesting fight, and I just wanted to see it. And now knowing that fight's not happening, it just makes me like, why is Colby being a hoe, dude? Like, if he don't take, I don't think he fights again, dude. I'm going to be honest. I don't think we ever see Colby Covington fight again, just because it's like, if you're not going to take this fight, are you going to take any fight, dude? So I love this fight. Kind of upset about the other one, but this is a very interesting fight. Yeah, dude, this is one for me that's kind of like, okay, this is another one for me. Like, let me see what happens here, because I got to be honest, the Kevin Holland versus MVP fight, that shit kind of sucked. I'm not going to lie. It's like, MVP's style is cool when he's knocking people out, but if he don't knock you out, then it's kind of fucking boring. I'm not going to lie. So Ian Gary's a big kid, dude. He's a big guy. So it's going to be an interesting fight. Lethal kicks, dude. This will be a very good fight. I'm going to lean Ian Gary off the jump here. What about you, man?
Yeah, this is it's a great fight. And yeah, in terms of Colby, I know you said that, there could be a chance that he can never fight again. I do
look at
not
that, dude.
know if
Jamal Hill minus 120 the favorite right now on DraftKings. Don't
that
surprise
makes
me.
that makes sense. That makes sense. And I think but I think for Colby, yeah, I mean, if he doesn't fight again, thank you. Because I mean, I haven't really been I mean, I don't know who is running around to get in front of their TV to watch a Colby fight to begin with. I mean, the only fight that he could say that was even respectable was that first Kamaru fight, as far as that you want to go back and watch. But so yeah, I don't really care about that. But just in regards to this fight, I do like the fight. This is one that I think Ian Gary had said that, once Colby pulled out, apparently there was a chance that Ian might not have fought until much later in the year, probably talking around November, December or something like that. And I guess he had wanted to make sure that he was still on an active cycle, and wanted to make sure that he got a fight in on a Conor McGregor card as well. And against MVP, a dude who's been calling him out. And apparently they got a little bit of back and forth, or they've been kind of talking smack back and forth with one another. So could add a little bit more tension to the fight as well. But it could also be a boring fight and a technical kickboxing fight too. So this fight is completely up in the air. But I am interested. It should be a good fight though.
I agree, man. Mean Machine Steve Garcia against Sungwoo Choi. I guess Sungwoo Choi is still in the UFC, dude. I thought they cut him after the Mike Trezano fight, to be honest.
I think for some reason I could have swore that they cut him and then they did bring him back.
I know they also cut Mike Trezano
right?
too. Like they also cut him, but I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't think they brought Trezano back.
Yeah. I'm not
sure. I don't think
they
brought him back, but I do think they. But for this fight in particular, I mean, not going to be a notable fight, but hey, Sungwoo Choi, he goes up there and scraps, and so does the Mean Machine. So yeah, that should be a hell of a fight for as long as it lasts. Should be fireworks.
Prepare for the double knockdowns, dude.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. Yeah, that's how Sungwoo Choi fight goes, and dude, they're awesome.
Yeah, dude. Here we go. We've got Yusuf Zalal returning his second UFC, back in his second stint. Going to be taking on Jarno Aarons, dude. What's your thoughts on that? Fucking Jarno Aarons is a handful round one.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. And good boxing too. And Yusuf Zalal, he looked good in his last fight. Well, it was against Billy Q, correct? That he came back again. So yeah, he looked super sharp in that fight. So yeah, maybe he's trying to make a big splash in his return, but I think this is good matchmaking.
Yeah, indeed. I agree. We've got one for Saudi Arabia, dude. So this is where the Saudi Arabia announcements were just coming back like one after another. I believe it was the other day, and then they continued on these past few days. So this is going to be the me and you were thinking it was probably going to be the co-main event for the Saudi Arabia card because Corey Sandhagen versus Umar is like the main event. So I'm like, oh, it's probably gonna be the co-main event. It'll be a solid fight card. But after seeing the new announcements, that this is not going to be the co-main event. This whole fight card is going to be stacked out there in Saudi Arabia. I'm sorry, in Abu Dhabi. My bad. I'm confused now. What am I saying? I don't know. This is on the Saudi. This is D-Rose. Am I confused between the Abu Dhabi and the Saudi Arabia card?
Yeah. So I guess apparently I guess as far as the arena, they're in different arenas, but I guess it's like still like the same funding group. But yeah, I guess like Abu Dhabi is like the pay-per-view card they do in October typically, and this is just money from that they receive from the Saudis. That's kind of how
I don't know. This is going to be August 3rd. This is a great fight. What's your thoughts on this? I don't know. I'm not trying to figure this shit out.
Yeah, I'm just worried about as far as what's the date and is the fight good? So
August 3rd.
This one should be an absolute banger. And I know we're going to talk about Sandhagen and Nurmagomedov, and they're supposed to be the main event. But dude, there could be a very good chance that. Dude, if Figgy goes out here and smokes Cheeto, dude, I would not be surprised if Figgy ended up working his way into a title shot just because there could be a chance that Umar and Corey could be a little bit boring, something that the fans might not want to see. And Figgy being a former champ, that could be something that could try to earn him a title shot. But I am curious to see the power of Davidson Figueiredo versus the chin of Cheeto Vera, dude. We know that he eats shots. What up, Mick the Big?
What up, Mick the Big?
Mick the Big. But yeah, that should be a hell of a fight, though. Yeah, I'm definitely excited for that one.
I agree. UFC 305 King Casey O'Neill returning against Teresa Bleda. Anything on that, dear?
I don't care.
Okay. We've got Carl Williams taking on Najanta Denise, dude. It looks like another 3-round wrestling match for Carl Williams on August 10th. Yeah.
Yep. Fighting another guy who's a striker with no wrestling defense. That's a good matchmaker for him.
Here's a fun one, dude. We got C-Rod. Christian Rodriguez going to be taking on Juicy J, Julian Arosa, dude. So a UFC vet. You guys going to be UFC Denver on July 13th. What's your thoughts on that?
Hey, C-Rod's good, man. We see how he's been able to win at 135 and 145.
Like every time besides the Bulgarian fight, I believe. And then like that's when I finally went against them was the Bulgarian fight, and he ended up winning that one too, dude. So yeah.
My thing was I picked against him in the Rosas fight and the Cameron Simon fight. So then so after that I was like, dude, you know what? This dude, he's really good, man. And even against Bulgarian, as you said, Bulgarian was an absolute dog. And Christian Rodriguez still fought well against him. So he could be a guy who fits in well at 145. And honestly, this is kind of good matchmaking for him because we know Julian Arosa, while he's a good fighter, can tend to get finished from time to time as well. So I think this is good matchmaking for Seabride to kind of get his feet wet at 145 and try to work his way up the division.
I agree, man. Here we go. This is going to be okay. So this is UFC on ABC 7. This is going to be in
It's
Abu
that same
Dhabi.
August 3rd card.
Yeah, August 3rd in Abu Dhabi. So this is going to be an ABC card, D-Rose. So not a pay-per-view, but on that same card for the co-main event for the Sandhagen versus Umar is going to be Vicente Luque versus Nick Diaz, dude. I'm surprised we are seeing Nick Diaz returning, But our guy, I'm sure he's in the chat. I'm sure he's already saying something. There he is. I told you all, Nick Diaz had a fight coming. Our guy, Lush Lomain, did tell us, dude, that Nick Diaz
He's been
had
telling
a
us
fight
for
upcoming.
about a month or so at least. He's been telling us.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out Lush Lomain. Hooked us up with all the autographed Nick Diaz stuff. And mine and D Rose's background here. Number one Nick Diaz fan. Gave us the scoop. He is returning against Vicente Luque, dude. So I guess what's your immediate thoughts on this fight, man?
All right. Call me a pessimist. Call me what you want. I got a hard feeling seeing this fight happening, man. And just for this,
5-round co-main event.
So I don't even think the 5-round things, whatever. Fighting in Saudi Arabia, that just does not seem like a very Nick Diaz thing to do. If that sounds, if that doesn't, sound
because
crazy,
like
the rules
yeah,
on like weed and stuff like that. Like
you're
dude,
right, man.
like I just got a because I actually heard Kevin Holland mention that in their interview, and I laughed about it, but then I thought about it and I was like, dude, that's actually a really good point. Like, is he actually going to be able to go over there and be able to stay sober the whole time? Because Kevin Holland even said, during the fight week, he can stay disciplined.
I think a few countries like that, if you even have it in your system and they blood test you and it's in your system, you can get arrested for it, dude. Like you don't even have to have it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So yeah, I'd love to see the fight happen because I think in terms of matchmaking, I'll talk about the fight just in terms of matchmaking. Some people might say the Luque matchup is a bad matchup. Based on the way Luque looked in his last fight, it could potentially be a good matchup because we don't know what Vicente Luque we're going to get. Vicente Luque, I'm kind of, more worried about him in this sense because coming off that brain injury that he got against Jeff Neal, dude, we don't know where he's at this point in his career. Could he be, I don't want to say that the potential championship contender, I'd say that's out the window by now, but does he still have that same killer mentality that he had at one point when he was, I would say, top 5 action fighters in the league, like, or in the whole UFC, as far as, Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Vicente Luque, those guys were guaranteed to deliver bangers in all their fights. And we've seen Luque over his last couple fights not look so well. So I think in terms of matchmaking, it's good for Nick Diaz, but I got a hard time seeing this fight happen.
I agree.
At least in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. And then Nick's on a mission. He rushed into the Lawler fight. He said he's out to hurt someone. Oh shit. He's going to bring the nunchucks. You can't bring those into the octagon, Lush. Also on the same card, dude, are you surprised we didn't get Tony versus the Big Brother? But we got Tony Ferguson versus Michael the Maverick Chiesa, dude. I thought he retired after the Kevin Holland loss, to be honest, but this is a decent matchup. I just think I lean the Michael Chiesa way here, to be honest, man. I just he's the much bigger guy, especially at 170, dude. They both fought at 155, but Mike the Mav up at 170 versus Tony at 170, it just looks a lot different. Yeah, dude, I just have a hard time seeing Tony win this fight either, dude. What's your thoughts here?
Yeah, I got a hard time. I got a hard time seeing Tony Ferguson having a shot. Of course, love me some Tony Ferguson, but we have seen that obviously there's a hole in his game in terms of being content getting taken down and trying to fight off his back. And I think that's exactly what Chiesa is going to do, is just try to take him down and just control. He could get a submission, but I could also see a very lackluster 15-minute WrestleFest from Chiesa here to get the decision. So yeah, I can understand how they match it up. Naturally the bigger welterweight for sure.
Yeah, man. Anyway, one that I'm a fan of, dude. We got my girls fighting, and earlier, I think my girlfriend had to point out, she was like, "Who are you gonna go for?" I'm like, "I don't know." And she was like, "There's 2 of your favorites. Like, who are you gonna go for?" I don't think I can not go for Loopy, dude. However, I don't think she wins this fight. I think she probably ends up getting submitted, man. At some point, if she does any sort of, if it looks anything like the Verna Jandiroba fight, I think she gets subbed, man. Yeah. I'm going to be rooting for Loopy, but I also do love me some Mackenzie Dern too, dude. Good fight. I like it. What's your thoughts here?
Yeah, good matchmaking, and I think Loopy, she keeps kind of getting good matchups. Like as far as like she fought Verna, she's top 5 in the division right now. And I would say in terms of name value, this is probably the biggest name that Loopy has faced to this point yet as well. So even coming off the loss against Verna, still getting a high ranked matchup that could potentially vault her back into the kind of top 6, 7 of the division. And Mackenzie Dern's looking for a win here, man. So it should be you're going to get a desperate divorce Dern. Desperate divorce Dern is going to be the new name going forward.
I think she might even be engaged again already, man.
Man, that's crazy to hear, considering I believe she said she was taking a lot of fights similar to Andrade to try to pay off a bunch of divorce fees and stuff like that. So hopefully she's not still in that position, but in terms of the fight, it should be a good one.
I agree, man. And our last one, dude, announced 9 hours ago. We've got Atomic Alonzo Menifield going to be taking on Azamat Murzakanov also on August 3rd, the Saudi Arabia card. Do you care about that one at all?
Yeah, that's a good fight. Azamat Murzakanov, good boxer. We saw what he did to Dustin Jacoby. Boxed his head off pretty cleanly. And as far as Alonzo coming off that rough loss against Oldberg, looking to bounce back and get a big win. So that should be a good one.
A lot of people are going to be sniffing the screens. You guys are savages. Absolute savages. All right. It's time to get to the main part of the show, D-Rose. We basically had an hour of news and fight announcements to go over, dude. Kind of surprising, but we
and that's kind of bullshitting too. Yeah, that's kind of bullshitting with Beans and stuff too. So
yeah, for sure. All right, man. So the fun times. Let me share my screen. We got the loyal Lush Lomain letting us know that he's got the notes ready. I appreciate it, Lush. You are the man.
Let's go.
Share this. We don't need to share the volume because Olay ads. Not really Crest anymore. It's Olay. Anyway, this weekend, we are going to be watching UFC 302 Islam Makhachev versus Dustin the Diamond Poirier. It is a pay-per-view taking place Saturday, June 1st. Prelims are going to start at 6 p.m. East Coast time in Newark, New Jersey at the Prudential Center. It is going to be headlined by your current 155-pound champion, Islam Makhachev, and he is going to be taking on Dustin the Diamond Poirier, challenging for his second title shot at 155 pounds. In the co-main event, also 5 rounds, we've got Sean Strickland. He is going to be taking on Bohashinia Paulo Costa, dude. Going to be an interesting fight there as well, and it looks like that fight's actually going to happen, man. I wasn't sure if it was, but it is. In the featured fight of the night, we have one of my favorites, one of your favorites, the Trailblazer, Kevin Holland, taking on another one of your favorites, dude, Mikhail Olashejuk. This fight is going to be at 185 pounds. So, keep that in mind. We've got Jelton Malhajinho Almeida taking on Alexander King Kong Romanov, dude. Fun fight there as well. Going to be some grappling taking place. We've got Rude Boy Randy Brown taking on Elizu Zaleski dos Santos. Going to be a fun fight there as well. We've got the Russian Chase Hooper or Russian Ben Askren. His name is Roman Kopylov, and he is going to be taking on Cesar Almeida. He fought not too long ago, knocked out Dylan Budka. That's a fun fight as well. Should be a kickboxing fight for the most part. We do have Grant KGD Dawson going to be taking on Joe Selecki. We've got Phil the Fresh Prince Rowe taking on the Celtic Kid, Jake Matthews. We've got Oh my goodness, D-Rose. So we've got Nico Price. What Nico the hybrid Price? He is going to be taking on Alex the Great White Morono in an interesting fight. Another interesting fight here. We've got Mickey Gall taking on Basel Hafez, and that's not a seasoning that you put on your food. That's a fighter. And then we do have Jocelyn Edwards taking on, the butthole popper, the ones that's online showing her holes to everyone, Aileen Nurmagomedov Perez. Don't forget that. And then the first fight of the night, we are going to be opening up with Andre Lima. And he is going to be taking on Mitch Raposo. So if you remember, Andre Lima in his last fight was the guy that got bit, and then I got the bit bonus. So 50K for getting bit in the octagon. So, D-Rose, that is where we will start at. But before we do, what are your thoughts on the card as a whole, man?
I do think it's a good card. I think it's better than the Brazil pay-per-view. But I do think in terms of the way the UFC has started the year with like 298, 299, 300, that kind of like 3-month run. Yeah, but I do think this is a good card. Giving it a grade, and obviously part of me grading the cards are being a little harsh, especially for the pay-per-views, because we're having to pony up $80 to pay for these. So I'll give the card a B. I would say I think it's a B. It's a good card. It's not a great card. I think after the top 3 fights, there's a little bit of a drop off. I think there's good quality fights on here. I think there's a bunch of interesting results that can come up from some of these fights, but in terms of the just dying anticipation, yeah, I'll give it a B. I think it's a good card.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess the only thing that throws me off about this whole card is it taking place in New Jersey. I don't really understand the headliner and us being in New Jersey for the most part. I'm like, what significance do we have here? It just kind of throws me off.
Yeah, a lot of times there's always a tie from somebody from the area potentially or something like that, but it almost looked like it was just like the soonest card that Islam could have been ready for. And yeah, they needed somebody to fight him at this point. Yeah, that's what kind of sucked for Gaethje taking the Max fight, because timing really worked out well for Poirier in this instance, him getting this fight.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into it, man. First fight of the night, we've got Andre Mosquete Lima taking on Mitch Raposo. Andre Lima is 8-0, won all 5 of his last fights, of course, as he is undefeated. Mitch Raposo is 9-1, has yet to fight in the UFC, and has lost on the Contender Series against Jake Hadley. Currently, odds for this fight, had them pulled up right before the podcast. Well, let's just move on to this. Andre Lima is 25 years old, 5'7", and a 67.5-inch reach, while Mitch Raposo is 25 years old, 5'5", and a 64.5-inch reach. Here we go. Currently, odds for this fight are Andre Lima minus 265 and Mitch Raposo plus 200. Yeah, from what I've seen from Mitch Raposo, dude, I do remember him on the Contender Series. I do remember him fighting Jake Hadley, which is why I was such a fan of Jake Hadley early in the UFC, because he made this guy look easy. And in Andre Lima's last fight, dude, I guess he was frustrating the guy so much that he bit him and got disqualified. And I guess the fight looked closer than what the guy felt like it was, because I felt like it was a kind of close fight, but maybe this guy just, has this thing about him where guys can't get him down and they just don't know how to fight him. So, watch out, because Mitch Raposo might come in here with some chompers this weekend and, take a bite out of Andre Lima's leg or something. Who knows, dude? Give me Andre Lima to win this fight via decision, dude. We're at 125 pounds, so I highly doubt we're getting a finish here, man. But yeah, Andre Lima via decision. We don't have odds for that yet. What's your thoughts here, man? And which way are you going?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting fight. Looks like
I didn't have it pulled up the whole time, huh? You should have let me know.
yeah, looks like Mitch Raposo is coming in on short notice. If I have that correct. Andre Lima again looked pretty good in his last fight, but he did again, I was with you in terms of Severino going in for the bite. I thought the fight was a lot closer than for him to just get frustrated. So to me, that lets me kind of think that Severino could be just a hothead just by some instance. Because he did seem to have some pretty good success with the wrestling there in the first round. Not like a whole
the
bunch
fight
of
was
success,
close. Like,
yeah, and I mean,
fight.
like if I would have been interested to have seen, and not like I would have been dying to see it, but in terms of judges' scorecards, because that fight was close, and Severino's putting a lot of pressure on him. Man, I'm gonna roll the dice here. I'm gonna say Mitch Raposo is going to come in, use a little bit more of his wrestling. So apparently Mitch Raposo is a guy out of I believe he's out of the Connecticut area that has been getting a lot of hype. I know a lot of people like John Anik and others have been kind of high.
Fights out of the New England Cartel. I remember him.
There you go.
Yeah, on the Contender Series. Yeah, so he's trains with Calvin Cater.
Yeah,
like fucking Rob Font.
All those guys.
All those guys.
Yeah. So a bunch of people have been high Mitch Raposo coming in, talking about his crisp boxing, got good wrestling. Yeah, I'm gonna take a strike on Mitch Raposo here to say that he comes in and pulls off the upset in the debut.
All right. So in our first fight of the night, me and D Rose are split. I am going Andre Lima. D Rose is going Mitch Raposo. And for those of you that are new here, me and D Rose like to have 5 different fights on the pay-per-view cards. We do best 3 of 5. Whoever gets more fights right of the night gets the shiny pick champ, and also has the loser has to eat Bean Boozled. And that's why D Rose ate Bean Boozled at the beginning of this show, because he's terrible at picking fights the last time. Had nothing to do with the headbutt. You just pick bad fights, dude.
Absolute bullshit. Yeah, I should have never picked that fight to begin with. So yeah, you are right about that.
Oh, well, I mean, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So we'll move on to the next fight of the night. That is a fun one, dude. Can't wait to talk about this one. We've got Jocelyn Edwards, La Pantera. She went back to Fiona. What is this? Aileen Perez is back to Fiona, dude. The last time she fought, her fight name was Nurmagomedov, dude. I refuse to. No. She is Aileen Nurmagomedov Perez, dude. I don't care what anyone says. That's her fight name. Anyway, Jocelyn Edwards is 13-5 overall. Won 3 of her last 5. Lost to Jessica Roach Clark, which is bad look, to be honest. Lost against Nora Cornell, which is honestly a bad look. But in between, one against Ramona Pascal, one against Jiyeon Kim, and one against Lucy Pudilova. On the other hand, Aileen Perez, 9-2 overall. Her first fight in the UFC, lost against Stephanie Egger, and then beat Ashley Evans Smith. Beat the shit out of her for 3 rounds, to be honest, but that's Ashley Evans Smith. And then beat Lucy Pudilova via decision in her last fight, where she was basically humping Lucy Pudilova's face for ground and pound. I don't know what that was, dude. Currently, odds for this fight are -194 Aileen Perez and +150 for Jocelyn Edwards. So odds closing in a little bit, dude. Aileen Perez opened up almost a 3-1 favorite, and it's down, dude, to she ain't even a 2-1 favorite now. Jocelyn Edwards, 28 years old, 5'8" and a 70-inch reach, while Aileen Perez, 29 years old, 5'5" and a 66-inch reach. D Rose, I'm going to pass it to you. Which way are you going here, man?
Something in me. I gotta lean in who I think you're going to pick, but I am going to go with Aileen Perez, I just think that, man, I just not in good faith cannot pick Jocelyn Edwards to win a fight at all. I just don't have a lot of confidence in her. She's got okay striking, but I swear, like she always ends up taking like these weird big shots if she ends up getting caught in striking exchanges. Not that she gets hurt, but I think in terms of the damage to sway the judges, that could happen to her. And also, I think she's prone to getting taken down as well. I think Aileen Perez, that she might have been trying to do her best Dontel Mays impersonation against Pudilova in the last fight with the hump pound and ground and pound. Yeah, I think Aileen Perez just a little bit more well-rounded in her game, and I think she can use her striking to set up her takedowns to get a decision win here. So we'll go with Aileen Perez.
Fair enough. That's the way that I truly expected you to go, and I'm going to go the other way, simply because of the size difference, dude. I know you said Jocelyn Edwards gets taken down easily, but I don't think she does, dude. I think she's got pretty solid takedown defense, and Aileen Perez might have some furiosity round one, might be able to get her down round one, but I think Aileen Perez gets tired, man, and Lucy Pudilova reversed Aileen Perez in her last fight and was on top doing damage, I think it was round 3, so, man, I'm gonna take the dog here. I see why the odds are closing up, dude, because at Aileen Perez minus 300, dude, I probably would have put like $50 on fucking Jocelyn Edwards right then at like fucking like plus 250 or some shit like that. But I am gonna go the dog here, dude. Give me Jocelyn Edwards. I'm going on a limb. Give me Jocelyn Edwards to finish Aileen Perez in the 3rd round because she's just absolutely gassed. That's what I'm saying. So 3rd round TKO for Jocelyn Edwards. That's what I'm going with.
Surprise.
Man. I don't know. Dave Fish for Days says piss break. Yeah, you're probably not going to miss much in that fight, to be honest. But we give you the picks here on the show. We give you the picks. We got Tim saying fight goes to decision anyway. Always play WMMA play. Yeah, 100%. But it's most likely like
even if it's minus 300.
Yeah, but it's usually like minus 330. It's like, man, I don't want to play that because anything can happen, dude. Up kicks to the liver, broken arms on takedowns, dude. Anything can happen.
Angie Hill gets like a modified guillotine or whatever it was. So yeah, we never know how it could go.
Crazy, dude. Crazy. So we will move on to the next fight, which is titty punch. Don't forget the titty punch.
Exactly. That fight looked like it was going to go to the decision before that happened. So oof.
Right. So we'll move on to the next one, which we have Mickey Gall, dude. We haven't seen Mickey Gall in fucking 2 years fighting Mike Malott. Yeah, 2 years and a month.
2?
And then before that, dude, just this fight. I'll never forget the Mike Perry fight where he fought Mickey Gall with his girlfriend as his cornerman, and that's it. He beat the shit out of Mickey Gall. Like I can't take
one side of the apex to the other, dude.
I can't take Mickey Gall serious after that fight, dude. I'm like, dude, you can't let that happen, dude. So yeah.
But to be fair, Mike Perry's a dog, dude. And if you're not going to take Mike Perry down, dude, you are not going to. There's not many people who can outdog Mike Perry, to be fair.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's get into it. We've got Mickey Gall 7-5 overall, but he's basically spent his entire career in the UFC, dude. Fighting good guys and fighting people that aren't so good either, dude. But just losing to anyone that's relatively decent for the most part, that's still in the UFC, he's lost to them. The Habibi, Basil Hafez, on the other hand, 8-4-1 overall in his last fight against Jack Della, dude. I watched that shit back, dude. I think Basil won that fight, believe it or not. And you know that kind of says a lot. I know it was short notice and all of that, but I think Basil might be a problem for sure the lower half of this division, and for sure but he's going to be a problem for Mickey Gall even in his dreams leading up to this fight, dude. I don't know how Mickey Gall is going to sleep, to be honest. Anyway, from Greenbrook, New Jersey. So Mickey Gall will be the hometown kid as he's 32 years old, 6'2" and a 74-inch reach. Basil Hafez, 32 years old, 5'11" and a 72-inch reach. Currently odds for this fight, plus 285 for Mickey Gall and minus 400 for Basil Hafez, dude. Basil Hafez probably chokes out Mickey Gall in the second round, I'm going to say. TKO or sub. I'm probably going to lean sub, though, because I think Basil Hafez got quite a few submissions on his record as well. Look at that triangle. Yeah. Give me Basil Hafez round 2 sub. Which way are you going here, D-Rose?
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet here. I do think that Basil Hafez gets it done. In terms of the method, I think Mickey Gall he gets finished. So I do think if he does get finished, I think there's a chance that Basil Hafez could maybe get some ground and pound. But in terms of submissions, Mickey Gall never submitted before in his career. So he does have good jiu-jitsu. He can defend himself well, and he's got good offensive jiu-jitsu. But I think in terms of his defensive grappling, he can get put on his back foot a little bit. And Basil Hafez is an absolute tank. So I think obviously JDM couldn't really hurt him. So don't really see Mickey Gall being able to really hurt him. I think Basil Hafez can get the takedown, get some control, and could see a decision win, man. So, yeah, I'll go Basil Hafez here.
All right, so D-Rose go on Basil Hafez via decision. So we'll move on to the next fight, which is Nico Price, the hybrid, taking on the Great White, Alex Moreno. 2, D-Rose. 2. They fought before.
That's surprising because I did not realize that.
It was a very, very long time ago. Anyway.
Clearly before the UFC, yeah, because I did not. I mean, it might not have been, but I feel like it had to have been because that's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, the hybrid, Nico Price, is 15-7 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, he has won one of them. And I believe he beat Donald Cerrone as well, and then it got overturned because weed or some shit like that.
I thought it was a draw.
You sure? It says that in for no contest. It says decision majority in for no contest.
He might have won, but I could have swore that fight was a draw.
I think,
and maybe
I think that was the. Yeah, I think it was like the Nico Price smoking on the reefer a little bit and got popped, but that's when Osada 4 years ago, that was a thing. Not so much anymore. On the other hand, he's won in his last 5 fights. His only fight he's won was against Cowboy Oliveira that has just looked awful outside of the UFC. Lost to Phil Rowe and got knocked out by Robbie Lawler in 10 seconds in Robbie Lawler's retirement fight. On the other hand, the Great White Alex Moreno, 24-9 overall, and beats pretty solid people. Beat Matthews, Semi the Jedi, Simmelsberger, lost to Ponzinibbio, beat Tim Means, lost to Buckley, beat Court McGee. I mean, if it continues on, dude, he should lose this next one, but hopefully not. Currently, odds for this fight are plus 190 for Nico Price, minus 250 for Alex Moreno. I believe me and you talked about this fight a little bit earlier in the weekend. I believe you said that Alex Moreno was probably going to be minus 400 by the end of the week, dude. It looks like the line's closing up a little bit, D-Rose. I don't really understand it, but Nico Price, 34 years old, 6 foot and 76-inch reach, while Alex Moreno, 33 years old, 5'11" and a 72-inch reach. Even though Nico Price is 34 years old, he's got about 20 extra fight years on him, as where Alex Moreno don't really seem to take too much damage. When he gets hit, he gets knocked out, but that's really the only damage he's going to take. So yeah, dude, I guess I will pass it to you. I'll let you pick first, man.
Yeah, I'm a big Nico Price fan. The dude has always put on banger after banger in terms of fights, so he's always got a fan in me. And I think Alex Moreno.
What's up, Jay Wolf?
I feel like we end up saying about Alex Moreno every time, but I swear I end up underrating him, dude, because you just look at his, flabby, doughy body, looking like a can of busted biscuits, and
just dude.
Yeah, dude, you just cannot tell. Like, if he walked into a room, like, you would 100% be like, "Oh, I can kick this dude's ass 100%." But then you watch him fight, and you're like, "Oh, this dude's a certified badass. Like, good boxing,
Bouncing and holding those
yeah.
hands here, dude.
dude, hands high and good. Yes, looking like a mannequin. How stiff he is with his hands up high. But dude, he 100% keeps them hands high, keeps them feet moving, and for the most part, stays out of danger. I think Nico Price does provide a little bit of that danger, just not at that extent in this point in his career. Even though technically, Alex Morono does have more fights in his career, Nico Price has just been through war after war, and I think at this point, just a little bit worn down. I think Alex Morono is the fresher fighter, and I think his path to victory, I think he has multiple ways. I think he can get a submission. I think he can knock him out, and I think it could be a decision. So, and I think all of those could lean toward Alex Morono. So I'll say Alex Morono gets the win. Let's go. I'm going to say Nico Price is going to go out here, try to make sure that he can withstand some damage. So I'll say Alex Morono by decision, but I would not be surprised if there's maybe a late TKO in there for Alex Morono.
I feel the same, dude. I feel like I'm gonna feel dumb if I don't play the round 2, round 3 TKO/KO if I know that that's definitely a possibility, dude. If you're getting knocked out by 40-year-old Robbie Lawler 10 seconds into the fight, and the way of getting clinched, dude, and just getting hooked over and over. It's
Drilled.
like, Nico, what are you doing? Get out of there. It's just like, just not making good decisions or anything like that. It's just like, it's just not the best look. So I could see Alex Morono knocking out Nico Price, and as stole the words right off his keyboard. Yeah, if you're getting knocked out by a retiring Robbie Lawler, yeah, dude, it's just like you even see the Nick Diaz fight. Like, he didn't fight in years, didn't train at all, came into the fight and, did all right against Robbie Lawler, for what happened. And then Robbie Lawler in his next fight just snoozes Nico Price. You're like, God damn, what is this? It just, I know MMA math doesn't really work, but yeah, just Nico Price, I just feel like is just far past his prime at this point. So me and D Rose are both on Alex Morono. You say by decision. I feel like he's probably going to knock him out, dude. But me and you both on Alex Morono. So we'll move on to the next fight, which is the Fresh Prince Phil Rowe taking on the Celtic Kid Jake Matthews. The Fresh Prince, Phil Rowe, is 10-4 overall, won 3 of his last 5, lost to Gabe Green, once against Ryan Koski, won against Jason Witt, knocked out Nico Price, just talking about that, and lost to Neil Magny via split decision. I remember picking Phil Rowe in this fight, too, because I thought that he had the tools to beat Neil Magny. He just decided to clinch Neil Magny for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, on the other hand, Jake Matthews, the Celtic Kid, 19-7 overall, win 1, lose 1, lost to Sean Brady, beat Andre Fiallo, lost to Matthew Simmelsberger, beat Darius Flowers, lost to Michael Morales, which is not surprising at all. Currently, odds for this fight, plus 132 for the Fresh Prince Phil Rowe and minus 170 for the Celtic Kid Jake Matthews. Phil Rowe, 33 years old, 6'3" and an 80.5-inch reach, while Jake Matthews, 29 years old, 5'11" and a 72-inch reach. D Rose, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say Phil Rowe wins this fight via decision, because I don't think Jake Matthews will be able to put his pressure in boxing on Phil Rowe in the way that he needs to win fights. Because if he can't get that going, dude, then he doesn't win, man. I think Phil Rowe's got a sick jab. He's got good body kicks, and he's very good on the ground, too. I know he's never won any of these grappling matches, but he is competing in tons of grappling matches, and he is a black belt. So, yeah, give me the dog here, Phil Rowe, to win this fight via decision. Let's see if we got odds on this. We do, dude. Phil Rowe to win this fight via decision is plus 420. I don't hate it, man. Which way you going here?
Man, I'm not gonna lie, I am very, very up in the air in this fight because I could very well lean. I could see it basically going the way that you think. Phil Rowe has good power, and I think that you can maybe make an equivalent to. I'm not going to say the Semelsberger fight as far as the picture with this fight and that Semelsberger fight, but I thought that Jake Matthews did have the grappling advantage in that fight, and he just kept getting clobbered every single time, and that's how Semelsberger was able to win. And for Phil Rowe does contain that power. The big thing for me that always irritates me watching him fight, man, is just that it seems like he always ends up making, as you said, in the Neil Magny fight, just kept making these bad decisions in terms of clinching with a guy who is, let's admit at this point, Neil Magny is going to be a lot better than Phil Rowe in the clinch. So I think if Phil Rowe makes the right decisions in this fight, he should be able to win the fight. But I think Jake Matthews, a little bit more well-rounded, seen a lot of tough competition in his time in the UFC, and still only 29 years old as well. I think the path to victory is the wrestling. If he does not get the fight down, could be a long night for him. But let's go, Jake Matthews. I'm going to say, let's say by submission. I think he gets a sub.
All right. So me and D-Rose split once again. I believe that's the third time. I could be wrong, but I'm on the Fresh Prince, Phil Rowe. D-Rose on the Celtic Kid, Jake Matthews. So we will move on to the next fight, which is a good one. I know you got some opinions here. We've got Grant KGD Dawson taking on Joe Selecki. There's that Crest commercial. We've been waiting on you. I knew it. Anyway, KGD Grant Dawson, 22-1 overall. In his last fight, he was knocked out by Bobby King Green in about 20 seconds. But before that, basically won all the fights. He did have a draw against Ricky Glenn, but, that was, I think, one of his first fights in the UFC. On the other hand, Joe Selecki, 13-4 overall. Won against Jim Miller, lost to Jared Gordon. One against Alex Da Silva, one against Carl Deaton with a sick haircut. Don't forget his haircut. And lost to Jakar Close via KO slam 5 months ago. Yeah. D-Rose, this is what I betted at earlier in the week. Grant Dawson, minus 320. Joe Selecki, plus 250 on Tapology. But currently odds for this fight, minus 460, Grant Dawson, plus 320, Joe Selecki. It's climbing there, D-Rose. I said by Friday it'd be minus 500, and it's getting there. Grant Dawson, 30 years old, 5'10", 72-inch reach, while Joe Selecki, 30 years old, 5'9", 70.5-inch reach. My thing here is, D-Rose, and I will keep it basically pretty short. It's raining here, I just much better wrestler and grappler of the two fighters here. On the feet, I believe Grant Dawson is the better striker. I just don't think there's a spot occupied in this fight where Joe Selecki is better than Grant Dawson. And I know everyone's like, well, anyone has that one shot and they can get clipped and fucking knocked out. But I don't even think Joe Selecki has the confidence to throw that one shot. So it looks like my connection's not too great right now, probably because it's rain. I just not heard it. But so if I'm lagging, I apologize. But yeah, I truly think Grant Dawson's probably a lock this weekend. Shouldn't say it too much, but yeah, minus 460. It's getting close to 500, so not the easiest look. If you got it earlier in the week, like your boy did, at like minus 320, not the worst parlay piece, but getting up to 500 can get risky. But I don't see a way that Grant Dawson loses any aspect of this fight this weekend, D-Rose. So give me Grant Dawson to win this fight. Maybe by like the last 5 seconds in the third round or decision. So I'm going to go round 3 or decision because Grant Dawson seems to win all of his fights that he finishes in the third round. He has like a bunch of third round fucking finishes. So 3 or decision is going to be my play for Grant Dawson this weekend. And odds on that, Grant Dawson 3 or decision is minus 155. So I don't hate that. What's your thoughts here, D-Rose?
Yeah, I think I was hard on you earlier in the week because I know you had told me you would use Grant Dawson as a piece in your parlay, and I said after, and it's more me personally because where I got burned by Grant Dawson against Bobby Green. I said it, because I had a parlay that had that hit. I could have won pretty decent, and of course he just shat on it altogether.
On the intro, that's like when I hit the cash out, that was that night because I was right after fucking Joe Pyfer choked out whoever it was, and then fucking Bobby King Green versus other fucking Grant Dawson was next, and I was like, man, something tells me I need to cash this out because I think Grant Dawson wins, but I don't feel good about it. So I cashed out like $500, and then Grant Dawson got smoked, dude. I was like, thank goodness.
Yeah. So seeing that, that's why I'm like, I'm not super confident putting my money on him, but I do think in terms of stylistically, he should win the fight. I think he's the better wrestler. I think Joe Solecki can be a little bit more tricky when it comes to his jiu-jitsu. I think he's a more versatile submission guy, but I think also you look back in that Jakar Close fight, him going for that armbar was what ended up getting him caught up in that slam to begin with. So I think Joe Solecki can sometimes use his defensive jiu-jitsu to a fault to put himself in bad positions. I think that's something Grant Dawson can take advantage of. I'll say that Grant Dawson gets it done by decision.
All right. Me and D-Rose basically on the same size there. So we'll move on to the next fight, which is what's happening. Oh, there we go.
Should be a sick fight.
Which is Roman Kapilov taking on Cezinha? I don't know how to say that. Cesar Almeida, whatever his nickname is, taking on Roman Kapilov. Roman Kapilov, 12-3 overall, lost his last fight against Fluffy. But, Fluffy just does that to everyone. What can we say here? Before that, won all of his previous fights pretty much by second or third round knockout. On the other hand, Cesar Almeida, 5-0, knocked out Dylan Budka a month and a week ago, and then won via a decision on the Contender Series. Before that, it really don't even matter. Currently, odds for this fight, minus 122 for Cesar Almeida, and minus 104 for Roman Kapilov. So really closely lined fight here. But it looks like Roman Kapilov is the slightest of favorites possible. Minus 104, minus 122. Roman Kapilov, 33 years old, 6 foot, 75-inch reach, while Cesar Almeida, 36 years old, 6'1", 74-inch reach. We should have a fun kickboxing fight here, D-Rose. I will pass it to you, and I'll let you pick first, my guy.
I think this is a super great matchup. Cesar Almeida, he has a long, extensive kickboxing background. Kind of one of those dudes like Izzy and more. I would say more in comparison to Alex Pereira, not having a lot of MMA experience. Exactly. Fought Alex. But I would say in terms of like just as far as his MMA experience comes versus his overall combat experience, even though he's 5-0, the dude's been fighting for a while now. He's 36 years old. And I'd say Kapilov, a sneaky 33. He doesn't look that old, but once you see his nose, you're like, oh yeah, that dude's been fighting for a while, dude, because that nose has been broken at least about 10 different times. But I do think sharp kickboxing match here. And then Cesar Almeida in his last fight against Dylan Budka, I mean, dude, he looked absolutely sharp in that fight. Pretty big underdog in that fight too, and ended up coming out with the win. His striking was just absolutely potent, and he was able to defend the takedowns well against Budka as well. Kapilov's not going to go for the takedowns. He's going to be one that's going to be standing there and willing to strike as well. I think his kickboxing, dude, is just so sharp. And, in that last fight against Fluffy really just ended up just putting the pressure on Kapilov and making him fold. Kapilov's super sharp, man. And I think with a little bit higher level UFC experience, just as far as the overall mixed martial arts, there were times where Kapilov was kind of, getting caught in the scramble exchanges with Fluffy as well. Now, a little bit to his fault because Fluffy's a better wrestler overall. But I think if they do end up with some clinch exchanges and stuff like that, if Kapilov does get a takedown, he can mix it up well to where I think Budka and Cesar Almeida's last fight, that was the only way Budka could win, was getting the takedown. I think Kapilov's a little bit more well-rounded in this spot, man, and I think Roman Kapilov can get it done here. So I'm going to say Roman Kapilov. Let's go. He cracks him with a nasty body kick and gets him out of there in the, let's say, second round. But yeah, we'll go with Kapilov here.
I thought I was going to have a hot take, D-Rose. I thought you were going to go Cesar Almeida. I went and Dylan Budka against Cesar Almeida in his last fight, just because on the Contender Series, the dude was able to get him down, and I just don't think he has the best takedown defense. And Roman Kapilov, still Russian dude, even though he's not the best wrestler, he trains that wrestling. He knows what's up, dude. I'm with you, dude. I think Roman Kapilov is able to do what he needs to do. If he finds himself not doing too well on the feet, I believe he can get Cesar Almeida down. So I am with you on Roman Kapilov as well. And I am also with you on the round 2 body kick knockout, because that's how Roman Kapilov wins, dude. Those sick body kicks. I don't know, Cesar Almeida might be used to the kickboxing, dude, but the way the Roman Kapilov flicks up that lead body kick, dude, that just touches the liver, I think it can be a problem for a lot of people. A lot of people, dude. Roman Kapilov, me and D-Rose both on him this weekend. I thought I was going to have a hot take, but nope, D-Rose on him as well.
With it being such a, I mean, literally, it's an even money fight. I don't know if you can really come up with a hot take as far as picking either one of those.
Jay Wolf's with us as well. All right. Anyway, move on to the next one, where we have Randy Rude Boy Brown taking on Elizeu Zaleski Capoeira dos Santos. Dude, Randy Brown is 18-5-0 overall, won all of his last 5 fights, except choked out by Jack Della Maddalena after getting mollywopped, looking like Johnny Walker when he gets hit. On the other hand, Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos had a draw against Renat Fakhretdinov in his last fight. Beat Abubakar Nurmagomedov, beat Benoit Saint Denis, lost to Muslim Salikov, and that don't matter. Anyway, 4 years ago against Zaleski Kuchenko, that dude's ass. Anyway, currently odds for this fight, -184 for Randy Brown, plus 142 for Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. Randy Brown, 33 years old, 6'3" and a 78-inch reach, while Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos is 37 years old, 5'11" and a 73-inch reach. So, D-Rose, I'm going to go the dog here. I say this every time Randy Brown fights, dude. He's just not the smartest fighter, dude.
I know you like to show people his defense when he
dude, it's just like, and dude, Elizeu is a dog, man. Like that dude will fight, dude. One of the best fight that I think shows the fighter that Elizeu is his fight against Benoit Saint Denis, dude. Like that dude he does not care how bad you're hurt, dude. He's going to continue to beat the shit out of you. As where you look at Thiago Moises versus was the RDA fight against Renato Moicano. He almost felt bad for him a little bit. Like he's like, dude, Elizeu, dude, does not give a fuck, dude. And if you're going to get tired or make a mistake around him, dude, I feel sorry for you, man. And Randy Brown sometimes makes mistakes, dude. And I just get that tickle back of my neck. I think Elizeu knocks out Randy Brown this weekend, man. So give me the dog, Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos, to knock out Randy Brown. For that to happen, Elizeu by knockout, plus 500, D-Rose. So I'm going to be taking Zaleski by knockout at plus 500. Which way you going here, man?
Man, I think this is a good matchup. I do. Just like how Randy Brown got clubbed by JDM.
Right.
Well, he got shot. Yeah, I think good matchmaking here. Eliseu Zaleski dos Santos, dude's been around the UFC forever at this point, even though he has kind of fought only about like once a year over the last few years. But yeah, that dude, he's been in the UFC for a while. He's fought some good competition. I believe if you go back and actually look at his record, he knocked out Sean Strickland at welterweight, and he hit him with a nasty, dude. I remember
wheel
actually
kick,
watching it, a nasty wheel kick, dude, and put him completely out, dude. It was absolutely filthy. The way he hit him with that wheel kick. But yeah, the dude's an absolute dog, and I think Randy Brown's going to really have to be careful because yeah, like I said, Dos Santos, explosive, experience, can win in multiple ways. But I do think in terms of the actual slicker striker, Randy Brown does have the length. He does use his reach well for the most part. He does like to use your favorite defensive technique, and he can get caught every now and then. Does have his hands down a lot, and yeah, he could tend to get caught every now and then. But I do think that he should be able to get a decision win here. I think he just uses his range, uses his jab, and he loves using that little teep kick to the body. And I think as long as he uses that to maintain the range, should be able to get a decision win here. So I'm going to go with Randy Brown.
All right. Me and D-Rose split again. D-Rose on the favorite, Rude Boy, Randy Brown, and I'm on the dog, Eliseu Zaleski dos Santos. So we will move on to the next fight, which is another fun one, dude. We got a grappling match here where we've got Alexander King Kong Romanov taking on Gelton Malhadinho Almeida. Yeah, dude. Gelton Almeida, 20-3 overall. Only lost in basically the UFC to Curtis Blades via knockout. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Alexander Romanov, on the other hand, 17-2. His two losses were from Alexander Volkov after gassing out in 10 seconds, and then lost to Marcin Tybura via decision. But dude, that fight was terrible. He like went for a takedown. Dude, hold on.
Dude, literally
in the Romanov fight, he grabbed the fucking Volkov's leg, got it up. Volkov grabbed the fence. I will give him that. Volkov did grab the fence to stop the takedown, but he put it down, let go, let out a big breath, and looked at the clock, and it was like 4 minutes, 45 seconds, 4 minutes, 44 seconds, 4 minutes of the first round, dude. It's like he's completely gassed like 13 seconds into this fight, dude. I was just like, oh, no. And Volkov ends up getting Romanov down and, does what he does, dude. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say Tybura is the only difference in Gelton Almeida's last fight and Alexander Romanov against Tybura was that Curtis Blades actually had the power to put Gelton Almeida out. Other than that, those fights were the exact same fight. Came out with a gajillion takedowns in the first round, using nothing but all upper body strength. And then by the time you get out of the first round, they're looking up at the clock like, oh, shit, I got 2 more rounds of this. Holy smokes. And this goes out there and lays a complete egg. Both those fights went the exact same.
Yeah, dude. Anyway, so Romanov 17-2. Currently odds for this fight, minus 265 for Gelton Almeida, plus 200 for Alexander Romanov. Gelton Almeida, 32 years old, 6'3" and a 79-inch reach, while Romanov's 33 years old, 6'2" and a 75-inch reach. Yeah, D-Rose. I'm going to be playing the under in, what is this? Is under 1.5? Probably play the under 1.5 at this and minus 120, dude, because yeah, I just don't think Romanov has the cardio to go past the first round and win against a person like Almeida. Did he do it against Blagoy Ivanov? Yeah, but Blagoy Ivanov just kind of stands there and doesn't get finished. That's pretty much all that happens. So yeah, I just think Gelton. Yeah. dude, if Jelton gets Romanov down, it's over. If Romanov gets Jelton down, I also think it's over. I think whoever gets the other one down, dude, is going to win this fight. And it's probably going to be in the first round. I guess I'll go Jelton Almeida just because he's quicker, lighter on his feet, and I think he could probably get to Romanov's hips quicker, dude. But how crazy would it be? How crazy would it be? Mystic Matt prediction here. How crazy would it be, D-Rose, if they shoot for a takedown at the same time and fucking headbutt each other, leading to a no contest to start this fight, dude? Like both dudes just come to the center, both shoot for takedowns and headbutt each other, and are both on the ground like, ah. This is a King Kong Romanov fight. Would it surprise you one single bit, dude?
Yeah, you go back to the one Espino fight. That was the one where he had the illegal knee shot, or whatever it was, like, or the nut shot. Yeah, that's what it was. Like, dude, he was he kneed him in the nuts. That's what it was. Yeah, he ended up like it was like he was just tired and was like, fuck it, let me go ahead and try to get something to get out of here. And luckily he got the decision then, because I mean, I know that, you know, I know you were kind of I'm not gonna say you were like the biggest fan, but you were like, hey, King Kong Romanov, and yeah,
dude, once I saw him forearm choke fucking pays out, I was like, this dude might be a problem. Yeah.
I remember when that happened, and when you said that, I remember you were kind of hyped about him, but I was like, dude, after that one Espino fight, I was like, dude, I just gotta see more. You know, he's tiring out all the time. You see the Tybura fight, and then you're like, oh my goodness, that one's even worse. And then the Volkov fight happened, and that was even worse, that he just got gassed so quick. Jelton Almeida, again, you see the Derek Lewis fight, and you're like, oh gosh, man, like that's not good as far as you contending in this division. Then you see him against Curtis Blades, and you're like, that's not good. Like, you were out here completely gassing. So it is literally a clash of similar styles. I think what separates it is that I think Jelton Almeida is the more versatile submission threat, where I think he can get a couple more submissions anywhere, and I think he's a more potent striker. So I think if it comes to where it stands on the feet, dude, I remember there was an early exchange that Jelton Almeida had with Curtis Blades there in the first round before he went to shoot for a takedown. And it was like a hook. It was like an uppercut hook that he threw. And honestly, I thought had he landed it, he would have taken Curtis Blades' head off. Like, I do think he's a little bit more potent of a striker and is more capable. So I think if it does end up kind of wrestling against each other and ends up being a striking battle, I think Jelton Almeida is the more dangerous threat there as well. So I think Jelton Almeida gets it done.
All right. Looks like me and you are both on Malagenio, Jelton Almeida. I would like to see what Romanov looks like on the scales, dude. Because if he comes in, you know, looking shredded up, you know, if he comes in weighing below 250, I might have a Romanov bet. But, dude, he's going to come in looking like shit at 266, dude. I'm like, well, he lost.
Like he did in the Volkov fight, looking like the Michelin Man.
Yeah, dude, just terrible, just terrible. Yeah, his size is his weakest link. Yeah, that's Romanov. That's Romanov, dude. Anyway, so let's move on, dude. Featured fight of the night, I believe, where we have the Trailblazer Kevin Holland taking on Hussar Mikhail Olszejczuk.
Change his name.
Yep, no longer Lord Mikhail, dude. Kevin Holland, the Trailblazer, is 25-11 overall. Out of his last fights, he lost the Wonder Boy, knocked out Ponzinibbio, Darce choked Makhachev, lost to Jack Della via split decision, and then lost to MVP via decision. On the other hand, Mikhail Olszejczuk is 19-7 overall. Knocked out Sam Alvey up at 205. Knocked out Cody Brundage down at 185. Lost to Caio Bahaio via rear naked choke. Knocked out Chidi Njokwani via ground and pound. good fight to watch if you want to know, if you want to take a look at how this fight may go this weekend. And then we've got loss to Michel Pereira 2 months ago. Anyway, currently odds for this fight are Kevin Holland minus 265, Mikhail Oleksiejczuk plus 200. Kevin Holland, 31 years old, 6'3", and an 81-inch reach, while Mikhail Oleksiejczuk's 29 years old, 6 foot, and a 74-inch reach. D-Rose, did you hear that little thing that I pointed out, the Chidi and Jaquani fight? Like, that fight, dude, that could look a lot like this fight this weekend. But I'm going to pass it to you first, and I'm going to let you pick first, my guy.
Yeah, I'm a fan of both fighters here, and I've always been one who have given Oleksiejczuk his credit, just to say that, hey, he may not be the sharpest fighter, he may not be the cleanest fighter, but if there's one thing that dude's going to do, he is going to bite down on that mouthpiece and going to throw down with you. Like, he doesn't care the size of you. I mean, the dude used to fight at 205, and as you state many a times, Oleksiejczuk probably could be fighting at 170, just based on his size.
I think he is, after this fight, going down to 170.
Dude, I mean, and that's the crazy part to think, is that, dude, he was at 205 knocking guys out. So, like, it just goes to show his power. It goes to show the dog that he has in him.
Polish power?
To be able to... Yeah, exactly.
Polish
it
power?
goes to show that Polish power, dude, because he is an absolute
He
dog.
don't leave it in the hotel room, dude.
Yeah. He brings it with him every time, dude. But I do think Kevin Holland has got a couple more ways to win. He's got a little bit sharper striking, can use his range. Kevin Holland, the thing that kills me about him the most, and I feel like I say it going into every Kevin Holland fight, he is the only dude with as big a reach as he does that fights in the pocket more than anybody. Because I swear, he has a very good reach advantage, but he will stand in the pocket and throw a bunch of hooks, and that's where he can end up getting caught by Oleksiejczuk if he ends up kind of playing around. If he keeps Oleksiejczuk at the end of his range, similar to how he did Joaquin Buckley, and pick and kind of snipe him with that right hand, I think he can end up hurting Oleksiejczuk and maybe getting a submission. But yeah, he tried to turn into that dogfight to where they're exchanging in the pocket and kind of trading. Oleksiejczuk can put dudes out, as you said, just looking at that Chidi and Jaquani fight. But I do think Kevin Holland, couple more ways to win. I think he gets a club and sub here. I think he gets a big right hand, ends up rocking Oleksiejczuk. And let's say Kevin Holland, I know he loves that darts choke. Let's say Oleksiejczuk goes for the shoot just to try to stall the fight. Kevin Holland secures the darts choke and gets a win. Let's go Kevin Holland here.
I like it, D-Rose. I was trying to get you to maybe think I wasn't going to. The Trailblazer, Kevin Holland, baby. I got my Trailblazer shirt on, and this is my favorite one. Where's it at? It's right here at the bottom. It says, y'all smell weed in here? Like, it's just a quote from Kevin Holland, dude. Yeah, I got to go to Trailblazer, Kevin Holland. And it's not for reasons that you would probably think, D-Rose. I think in Mikhail Oleksiejczuk's last fight, he did take it short notice against Michel Pereira, right? Like, I believe he took it short notice to take it.
It wasn't like a couple days, but it was like, I think it was like close to like a month or so.
Yeah. And I listened to him in an interview in that fight, and he said that he didn't have a team anymore, that he was just training with his friends. And that's what he's going to do from this point on. And then that's just not good. You're a UFC fighter, dude. You can't do that. Like, you're not Mike Perry. You can't just train with your girlfriend and go in there and beat fighters, you know? Only Mike Perry can do that. Yeah, dude. So I agree with you. And I personally think this goes a lot like his last fight, kind of like the Anthony Fluffy Hernandez fight. I think Kevin Holland hurts Mikhail Oleksiejczuk to the body because I feel like he's just got a soft body, man, and he can get hurt there. I don't know if he gets knocked out or, like you said, once he gets hurt to the body, maybe he leans over and, like you said, wraps up that dark choke. I don't mind it. I don't mind Kevin Holland by sub. I don't mind Kevin Holland by knockout. I do love Kevin Holland by finish. Let's go Trailblazer this weekend. UFC Dis Roman Kapilov, guy's a killer. A up-and-comer to plus money. All right. Yeah, so we will move on to the next fight. Me and D-Rose both on the Trailblazer, Kevin Holland. Co-main event time, though. We've got Sean Strickland taking on none other than Bohashinia Paulo Costa. Austin says, I like Kevin Holland, but I don't feel like he has a desire to be great. I could see an upset Holland all the way. Yeah, let's go Trailblazer. Anyway, Sean Strickland versus Paulo Bohashinia Costa. So Sean Strickland, 28-6 overall out of his last 5 fights. Lost a split decision to Jared Cannonier. Won a decision over Nasruddin Imavov. Knocked out Abu Smagomedov. Beat Izzy for the championship and then lost a split decision to Dricus du Plessis. While Paulo Costa, on the other hand, the racer, 14-3 overall. His only losses ever were to Israel Adesanya, Marvin Vettori, and the Reaper, Robert Whittaker, in his last fight, which was a damn good fight, dude, for 3 months ago. Currently, odds for this fight are minus 250 for Sean Strickland, plus 190 for Paulo Costa. Sean Strickland, 33 years old, 6'1" and a 76-inch reach, while Paulo Costa is 33 years old, 6'1" and a 72-inch reach. I'm gonna put it like this: if this was a 3-round fight, I would, without hesitation, pick Paulo Costa to win this fight, D-Rose, because I think Sean Strickland, although he has a good style, if he's fighting a brute like Paulo Costa that's going to go forward no matter what, that's not really going to back up too much, I believe Paulo Costa can win 10 minutes of that fight. But this is a 5-round fight, man, so it's a little bit different. I watched the countdown. Paulo Costa is training with 2 Olympic boxers for this fight, D-Rose, which I do like. And Sean Strickland seems to be training a lot with Russian Anthony Smith for this fight, which, okay, I see it. Fair enough. Something you pointed out, D-Rose, is the kick that Zaleski knocked out Sean Strickland with, and the kick that Paulo Costa landed on Robert Whittaker in his last fight, dude. I mean, dude, this is another one of these things. Maybe it's just my absolute dislike for Sean Strickland, but I think Paulo Costa wins this fight. I don't know if he knocks him out, or I don't know if somehow he wins 3 rounds and somehow wins a decision. But yeah, give me Paulo Costa as a plus 190 dog to beat Sean Strickland. That could just be my dislike of Sean Strickland, though. But yeah, give me Paulo Costa to win. Which way are you going here, D-Rose?
Yeah, I gotta think a little bit of that is hate, a little bit of hate juice from you, haterade, as the kids like to say, that you sipping on a little bit over there. Because Sean Strickland, I mean, look, we don't have to like his political views, don't have to like his stances on a lot of different subjects and stuff like that. But if there's one thing that we can absolutely get that dude credit for, yeah, he is an absolute dog. And I think that when it comes down to just getting down in the octagon and scrapping, I mean, he will go down in there and throw down with the best of them, as we saw even to his fault against Alex Pereira. Everybody said, hey, why don't you go for a takedown? And he had no desire on getting a takedown whatsoever. He wanted to go in there and try to box with Alex Pereira. Now, here's the thing. I think Paulo Costa, I can understand why you pick him. Paulo Costa does have power. He's dangerous. But when I look back, man, I mean, Paulo Costa had a rough time really actually even hurting Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold, who was chinny and done at that point, fighting in Utah at elevation, dude, Luke Rockhold was done after the first 3 minutes of that fight. And Paulo Costa still struggled to put him away.
Yes. Exactly. Right here, dear.
Yeah. Well, hey, maybe that was me just being the Izzy lover and Izzy supporter I am as well. I think that was a little bit of both there. That I was feeling a little high off of Izzy after he had that KO against Alex, but yeah, I just think Paulo just doesn't. Although he does have power in his kicks, I just think as far as his punches, he just doesn't really hurt anybody that much. And I think it's at least the top level guys. And I think that Strickland, good boxing defense. And I think once he gets on that front foot and starts snapping Paulo Costa with that jab, starts busting Paulo Costa up with it, Paulo Costa is willing to get in there and get into a dogfight. But yeah, I think once Sean Strickland starts adding the damage up on him, I think it takes effect over the long duration of the fight. And I'm going to say that, yeah, I think that Sean Strickland gets it done. I think it's by decision. I think Paulo Costa, I think it's going to be a good fight. I don't think Paulo Costa is going to get his doors blown off. I think the rounds are going to be close, but I can see a 49-46 for Sean Strickland here, getting it done. I think he could win it 4 rounds and win pretty cleanly.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, we are split again here. I don't know why, dude. I think fucking Paulo Costa came to this fight in shape, ready to fight 5 rounds. You know, he's been joking around, like eating the ice cream like and shit like that, but he's been ready for this shit, dude. And just kind of listening to him, he knows that if he wins this fight, he's next for a title shot, dude, because Sean Strickland's number 1, dude. And if Dricus wins against Izzy, dude, there's not too many contenders, and Paulo Costa would be at the top there. One more thing that I do want to kind of point out in this fight, is it me or do both these fighters, when they finish people, they kind of finish them the same way? It's like neither one of them has that one shot, one hitter quitter to out cold anyone. It's like a duration over time that Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa both tend to put on their opponents. So this is kind of going to be a who's more durable, who's in better shape, and who's got a better chin, man. And I am ready to find out this weekend. I'm going Paulo Costa. D Rose is on Sean Strickland. So let's go to the main event of the evening. It's going to be a fun fight between the Diamond, Dustin Poirier, and Islam Makhachev. If you guys haven't already, please do us a favor and hit that thumbs up button for your boys, and subscribe if you haven't already, because me and D Rose are here every single UFC fight week giving you our picks. So with that being said, Islam Makhachev versus the Diamond, Dustin Poirier. Yeah. Islam Makhachev, 25-1 overall. Only loss ever was to Adriano Martins, even though a lot of people will tell you it was Alexandre Pantoja. It wasn't. Shout out Brendan Schaub. Anyway, Dustin Poirier is 30-8. Yeah, knockout over Conor McGregor, lost to Oliveira. Choked out Michael Chandler, lost to Gaethje, knocked out Benoit Saint Denis, and this still continues, dude. Never lost 2 fights in a row, D Rose. Yeah, Islam currently is a -620 favorite. Dustin Poirier +400, the dog. Islam, 32 years old, 5'10" and a 70.5-inch reach, while DP, the Diamond, Dustin Poirier, is 35 years old, 5'9" and a 73-inch reach. Man, I guess I'll let you go first here. I don't think we're going to have too much different opinions on this one, dude.
Yeah, this one, so obviously Dustin, we know him as a dog coming in off the BSD fight. I did pick him going into that fight, by the way. Yeah, coming in, coming up with a big upset win, underdog. BSD was supposed to be the guy to run through him. I do think BSD leaves his chin up a little bit, leaves himself to be had there, and yeah, that's what ended up ultimately costing him. Islam is obviously a little bit smarter, when it comes to the way he implements his game. Very good defensively for the most part. Yes, he got knocked out by Adriano Martins. That was a super long time ago, and he was reckless.
Dude, it was Alexandre Pantoja.
Yeah.
Dude, did you know he got...
Yeah, the flyweight champ knocked out the lightweight champ. Yeah, that makes sense, dork. Dude's an idiot. But yeah, and you've seen that, Islam has not made that mistake again. Now the only thing I will say, Dustin Poirier's check right hook is that money shot. And that is the one that ended up putting out Islam Makhachev. If you go back and look at that fight against Adriano Martins, I mean, Adriano Martins literally sat on that punch and could not have came through with a cleaner follow through. So yeah, I think if Dustin's able to land a shot like that, I think he can get it done. And I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it now. The diamond, baby. I think the diamond gets it done. We're coming in for full support here.
He got us. Yeah, I wasn't
The
expecting
diamond,
it. I
baby.
wasn't expecting it.
The diamond's gonna get it done, baby. We're going for the paid in full final call. Coming in, man. This is his last title shot that he's going to get. We all know that as fans coming into this. I think he finally writes the story, gets the job done, defeats Islam with Habib in his corner, and tells him this could have been you if you were brave enough to stick around for a rematch. But the diamond gets it done, baby. Let's go by knockout. Let's go, Dustin Poirier.
All right. It looks like we are going to have a difference of opinions here. Yeah, I expected you to get Islam. Dude, don't get me wrong. I see it. And a lot of people, I see a lot of people be like, this is Dustin's time. He's finally going to do it. My thing is, dude, since the fight where he did get knocked out, dude, if you watch, I guess when he was a lot younger, he was a lot more reckless than he is now. And to me, Dustin Poirier needs you to make a mistake for him to capitalize. The thing is, Islam doesn't make mistakes, dude. It's like he's a damn near perfect fighter. And so if we need Islam to make a mistake for Dustin to win, that's a big ask, dude. And I just don't see it happening. So because of that, give me Islam to choke out Dustin Poirier in round number 3. Islam, round 3 sub. That's the way I'm going, man. That's the way it's probably going to happen. Let's be real. All right.
Going to land that check right hook, baby. Get him out of there. Let's go.
Yeah. Hell yeah. D-Rose diving all the way. It's what the sport needs. I just have a gut feeling Dustin going to sleep him beat down. Number 1 P for a reason. Looks like the chat split. It's a fist fight. Indeed it is, Austin. Anything can happen, man. And then it's going to be a war. He isn't going down easy, especially with his daughter being there. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, D-Rose. We got the loyal Lush Lomain here. 6 different picks. So I got the pick champ here. I wasn't the one that ate the booger beans today. You was the booger bean eater. So that means that you have an option. Which fight would you like to throw out for this pay-per-view, man? Because we're only going to pick on 5. We do best 3 of 5 unless one of the fights falls out, and then the one that you threw out gets put back in here. So yeah, man, I'm gonna let you have it.
There's one that I had to throw out, man.
Dude, I got a lot of dogs there. I got a lot of dogs in here.
Yeah, if I had to choose, it's probably going to be between one of the first 2 fights. Oh gosh. Let's just let's drop Lima and Raposo because I just don't know enough about either or. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I just don't know enough about either or. Let's drop them off and let's keep the rest the way they are.
All right. So for this weekend, our 5 different picks for the pick champ will be Aileen Perez versus Jocelyn Edwards, where D Rose going Aileen Perez as the favorite. I'm going Jocelyn Edwards, the dog. So I got 1 dog. Our second different fight is Phil Rowe versus Jake Matthews, where I've got the dog once again. Plus 132 Phil Rowe, D Rose on the dog. On the favorite, Jake Matthews minus 170.
I will say, out of all the fights, I'm the most worried about that one. I am the most worried about that one because I was actually going to pick Phil Rowe, but I'm worried about that one.
And then, so our third different fight is Randy Brown versus Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos, where once again, I have the dog. Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos, D Rose as the favorite in Rude Boy Randy Brown. Our fourth different fight is Paulo Costa versus Sean Strickland, where I have the dog once again at plus 190. Paulo Costa, D Rose got the favorite minus 250 at Sean Strickland. And our last final one, number 5, is basically the only one that I have the biggest favorite on the card, minus 620. D-Rose going DP at the Diamond. So, D-Rose, I will not be getting clean swept. I will not be eating 3 beans this week. It will not happen. Mark my words right now. I will not get swept. You will not get 5 fights right, and I get 0 wrong. So, with that being said, those are going to be our different picks this weekend. If you want to see who has to eat Bean Boozled, come back here. Are we going to do the recap Sunday, D-Rose, do you think?
Yeah, I'd be down if you want to.
Or fucking Saturday night,
Saturday
fucking
night,
Sunday,
whatever.
one of the two. Yeah, one of the two. Yeah. So, see who eats the beans on the recap, either Saturday night or Sunday, and then yeah, me and D Rose will be here back on Wednesday to talk about next week's fights, and yeah, we got some pretty nice upcoming fights. I'm excited to talk about them. So, with that being said, Dustin by Gilly, great stuff always, guys. I appreciate it, Tim. And Matt's picks are a solid round robin bet. Lush, I tried that once, dude, and then I hit play, and then I realized I bet like $300, and I was like, "Why did I do that?" Like, it's just a mistake. I don't bet round robins anymore. Lush. All right. So, with that being said, we truly appreciate all of you guys for stopping by and hanging out with us here tonight on the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast, giving you all of our picks for UFC 302 Islam Makhachev versus Dustin the Diamond Poirier. We truly appreciate y'all for stopping by tonight. If y'all haven't already, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you're not, we are here every UFC Fight Week Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. East Coast time, sometimes a little bit later, D-Rose, you know. Things happen. But with that being said, we truly appreciate y'all for stopping by. I'll be here tomorrow night for the members duck race for UFC cards. So if you are a member here on the channel, stop by here tomorrow night. I believe it's 9:30 p.m. I already have it scheduled. So yeah, if you're a member on here, stop by here and win some free UFC cards. And then I'll be back here Friday for Change to Cheddar. I would like to have D-Rose on here for Change to Cheddar because it is a pay-per-view. I don't have any special guests this weekend, D-Rose. I'm scared to reach out to anyone bigger. Like, like imagine I was able to get like Luke Thomas on here or some shit like that. How fucking nuts would that be, dude?
That would be badass. That would be 100% badass. Even some of like the ESPN guys, like I don't know, Ian Parker. I think he does like the betting stuff for them or whatever.
Dude,
even that,
I fucking listened to his pecs and then I bet the opposite because his ass is wrong all the time.
Or fade fade the pick altogether. You know what not to bet whenever he's telling you to bet it. But it'd still be cool to have somebody like that on.
Yeah. Islam got staph infection and will gas like PSD, right? I doubt it, man.
You saw the staph in his leg. He got staph in his leg.
Maybe, dude. Maybe. Duck race, baby. All right. Indeed. I will see all of you guys tomorrow night. And then we'll see you guys Friday night for Change to Cheddar here on the channel. Give you guys all of our bets and everything. But with that being said, we will catch you guys. Well, I'll catch you guys tomorrow night. But I'll catch you guys later. Peace.